Well, ahead of the digital and streaming age, thousands of people traveled to California's Mojave Desert to witness space shuttle landings. A Seattle author was there photographing this space-loving community. He's sharing those moments in a new book and talking about the special camaraderie that was created over the years. Author and photographer Ted Hutter is here. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Well, Ted, first, what inspired you to head out there with your camera?
Well, at that time, this is the early 1980s, I was living in Los Angeles. And, you know, I grew up with the space race, so I'm a bit of a space nerd. And when the space shuttle started landing, it's like, I've got to be there.
Yeah.
And I'm a photographer, so of course I had my camera gear with me. And I get to this site, and I realize that not only is it, you know, extremely photogenic, you know, with the people and the landscape, it's spectacular. It's also something really unique. You know, there is a feeling there, a sense of community, and I was not seeing anybody else taking pictures either. Except, you know, snapshots, things like that. But as far as the, you know, the media, the TV stations, they were all on the other side of the lake bed to get the close-ups of the astronauts and the space shuttle.
And this is pre, you know, digital age, so people weren't out there, you know, taking pictures with their phones or digital cameras. Tell us a little bit more about the book and what people could expect. Okay,
so the book looks at composite 24 hours at this lake bed, as it's called. It's a dry lake. Imagine Elliott Bay made out of clay, completely flat, completely desolate, and that's where people park to camp. So they were allowed onto the base to watch these space shuttle landings for about 24 hours before the space shuttle landed. Then everyone had to go. So this is a composite 24 hours of people arriving, setting up, and what they do there. They stroll, they meet each other, they buy souvenirs, and then finally they watch the space shuttle land.
Ted, you went to 8 space shuttle landings over the years. Were you starting to see some of the same people there coming to watch and maybe form this into a tradition as a couple or as families?
Well, I saw a few of the same people. They were mainly, you know, sort of the vendors, because it's so huge. You know, there were 500,000 people there for the early landings. And then, you know, even a small landing attendance would be, you know, 5,000, 10,000 people or so, something like that. But there was a sense of coming back every time. And it was the same sort of feeling there every time.
Celebration, anticipation, all of that together.
Yeah, it was like a small town, you know. It was a community. It was a real community, and people had this one thing in common, is that they wanted to be a part of history. They wanted to see this spaceship land on Earth, and that was the first time in history that was even possible for an average person.
They certainly were a part of history. Ted, where can folks find the book?
Well, they can find it at your usual places online, Amazon, things like that, but it's also on sale at the Museum of Flight here in Seattle. And if you order one there and make a special note, I can personalize it for them before they ship it back.
That's lovely. All right, Ted Hutter, thanks so much for being here with us.
Thank you.